Hey, it's Ryan from the Carb Situation. Remember, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a trainer. I'm just a human guinea pig who likes to read a lot and willing to experiment. If you go on the journey with me, maybe you'll learn what I learned. Oh yeah, and I curse a lot. Let's do this. Hey guys, happy Easter. It is April 21st, 2019, and it's time for another weekly check-in. Today is the end of week 4 and the beginning of week 5 of the Carb Situation Project. So this past week was sort of uneventful, except the numbers were a little more impressive. Last week the numbers were kind of boring. This week I was able to put on some pounds and some body fat. I didn't get as much exercise as I wanted. A couple reasons. I have a new injury. I pulled a muscle right here, and so I'm giving the weight training a couple weeks off. Hopefully it will get better. I think it's just a pulled muscle, I hope. And if it gets better, then I'll get back to weight training. And the weather finally got warm, but the wind came up. So I got a couple bike rides in, I think, but not nearly as much as I wanted to. Mind you, I was still able to put away plenty of carbohydrates and calories. So let's get on to results. Last week, I was 214.6 pounds. And this week I came in at 220.6 pounds. So I gained right about 6 pounds. My body fat was 28.6% last week, and this week it is right at 30.0%. So that's another 1.4% in body fat. So more impressive numbers than it was last week. Last week was a little bit boring if I remember right. Kind of a crazy thing that I've noticed. My Saturdays, if you look at the data on my website, you'll see that on Saturdays, I kind of go up and then I come back down on Sundays, whether we're talking about weight or body fat. And that's indirectly proportional to my hydration. I think that has a little bit to do with how the resistance in the impedance scale works. But my theory is that the last couple of weeks on Friday night, I've gone out partying and drank a bunch of beer and ate a bunch of junk. And then when I wake up on Saturday, all of that is still sitting in my gut because I probably was out late and I'm really dehydrated. So it looks like I get a kind of a spike in weight and fat and low hydration. And then on Saturday, then I'll like chill out and rehydrate. And then Sunday morning, all that's kind of gone through my system. I'm a little bit better hydrated. So my fat and my weight kind of come back down. So that's been an interesting trend I've noticed the last few weeks, but I don't know, that's that. This next week, I'll be traveling a lot for work. So probably won't get very much exercise in, possibly a little bit of cardio before and after my trip. I won't do any strength training. But I'll have plenty of opportunities on the road to shovel carbohydrates into my face and get a little bit fatter. I'm still thinking that the end of the project, I should say the middle of the project where I switch my diet, is probably going to be at about the 35% fat range. When I hit that point, I think that's when I'm going to switch my diet and come back down to the healthy world, I hope. But I was doing some mental math just a little bit ago, and I'm at 30% now. To get another 5%, I mean, think about that. When we talk about body fat percentage, it's not just an arbitrary number. It's how much of your weight is fat. So right now I'm at 30%, and I weigh about 220 pounds. So 30% of the 220 pounds is fat. So 66 pounds of me is fat. The rest is bone, water, muscle, whatever. But 66 pounds of fat in my body. And if I want to go to 35% before I switch over, that means I got to add another 5% of body fat into 220 pounds. That's 11 pounds. So if I'm going to go to 35%, I'll probably be in that 230 pound range, maybe a little bit more. So that's probably, I expect that to take another couple weeks, 2 to 4 weeks. And that's probably when we're going to buckle down it won't be that hard, actually. I hope. I might be wrong. This really is an experiment, but I have a good idea what's going to happen, and I'm going to show you how easy it is, hopefully, to go right back down to where I was, and you can copy that part, and it'll be great. Do not copy this first part. This belly, this is called visceral fat, and this is the most unhealthy fat. This is that if you have fat kind of everywhere on your body, that's subcutaneous fat that's right under the skin usually, and that's I don't want to say it's healthy fat, but I mean it's just fat. This visceral fat, that means all your organs are getting fatty, and that's why your gut gets huge. So this is by far the most unhealthy fat. So it can be a little bit dangerous, and I don't suggest anyone mess with this. I'm trying to prove a real point here, and it's putting my health in jeopardy a little bit. I don't want to sound too dramatic, but it's true. So take this shit seriously. This visceral fat is not good for you. So, hope that I don't die in the next couple weeks so that we can get the rest of this project finished. And I think that's all I got for today. So, please comment, discuss, leave me feedback. I love it down below. Please remember to subscribe and check out all the data on my website. And I think that's all we got for this week's check-in. So thanks for following along and your support, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.